What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We got lots to talk about today. We've got some new seasonal products coming out. We also are going to be tracking Sword and Shield price movements. We're going to be talking about all of the Pokemon Center's stock levels for the US, UK, all of that. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. And hi, I'm on camera this week. Let's get into it. Okay, so we've got a new set of seasonal products coming out. These products aren't new, but it's just sort of like the new seasonal version of them. We've seen them before come out in previous years. We've got the Pokemon Christmas calendar. It almost works as sort of like an advent calendar. You get different things in it. You get like a keychain, you get 5 booster packs, and you get some like real nice promo cards as well. So you get hollow foil cards, and they have a little, as they put it, festive stamp. We've seen this last year. It had kind of like a little snowflake on it. There's a few pictures down below. I'm not sure if these are last year's ones or this year's ones, but you can see you get some really nice promo cards that you can only get in this advent calendar, and they've got this little frosty symbol. There seems to be a theme of winter, sort of snowy Pokemon, obviously like the Alolan Pokemon, like the Alolan Vulpix feature as well. And there's a really nice Glaceon as well. These arts on the cards aren't anything new. You are guaranteed to get all of these in the advent calendar as well, but yeah, there's just a little bit of scarcity on them because they've got this little stamp. So those will be coming out probably just pre-Christmas time. I don't think it's really a play long term for like sealed investing. These promos might actually do well in the future though. If you hold this for a very long time, it might do well, but generally there just isn't really the demand for these at the moment. It might be a play going forward in the future though. So I always like to let you guys know whenever there's new products coming out, and you guys can decide whether it's a play for you or not. But these are really cool, even if you just want something yourself, you know, just the excitement of opening up something new each morning. This might appeal to you more than perhaps having a chocolate version. They usually retail for around about 30 to 40 pounds. I presume dollars is about the same. Oh, here we go. So they're $50. So your cost ratio per pack isn't great, but you do get these exclusive promos and a couple of other little bits. You get like some coins and stickers and whatnot. Just wanted to make you guys aware that those will be coming out soon. Like I said, it's not really a play going forward for sealed. You can see last year's ones. You can still buy them on eBay here. I'm not sure about that one because it's pretty low rated. But yeah, you can buy them for like £33 now for last year's one, which is basically I think what retail price was. So it's not like there's a huge demand for these, and I don't think they'll sell out quickly. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a play going forward unless you're going to hold them on like the very long term. But yeah, just wanted to make you guys aware. Obviously we got Halloween coming up soon as well, so again Pokemon Center is doing another range of the trick or trade booster bundles. This again is going to be a US exclusive, I believe. They're going to be a little bit cheaper this year. They're going to be $5 cheaper, so they're going to be $15 for 35 mini packs. Again, you can collect them if you want to go for the set. You get these little stamped promo cards. Again, these are not new artworks, you just get the new little stamp on them. They could become more collectible in the future, but again, there's just not really the demand for them to have them as a play going forward as keeping them as sealed. Even here in the UK, where you can't even really buy them, they're still selling for retail, last year's ones. There just isn't the demand there to make it a sealed product investment unless you're going to hold it for the real long term, and then it's a bit of a risk. Like, I just thought I'd let you guys know that they're going to be coming out. I wanted to take a very quick look here. This is the US Pokemon Center, and things are selling out. It's not looking good for Pokemon Center US. So obviously you've got your ultra modern booster boxes. Scarlet and Violet base is actually sold out, which is interesting. So you've got your Twilight Masquerade, Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift, and Temporal Forces. The only Sword and Shield set they have now. is Silver Tempest. That is the last one left on the shelf. Really interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to track what happens with US prices now that basically I think Sword and Shield is pretty much gone. Like for retail price, I don't think you're going to get retail priced or MSRP for you guys in the US booster boxes anymore for the Sword and Shield block. I think this is your last opportunity to pick up a bit of Silver Tempest, and then that's it. I really do doubt that there'll be any more reprints. There has been a little bit of a rumour that there might be some Fusion Strike that's going to filter through. We have no idea what numbers are going to be like. We don't even know if that's true or not. There is a rumour that there may be a tiny Fusion Strike restock coming up in the future for NA. I'm not sure about EU. Just something to be aware of. Pokemon Center UK is looking a little bit more healthy. I'm sure my US viewers are a little bit jealous at the offerings that we have available here. Even still, on Pokemon Center UK, we can still pick up Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, and Astral Radiance for retail price. I think all three of these are fantastic buys, particularly the Fusion Strike and the Astral Radiance. I think, yeah, the US will be kicking themselves that they can't pick these up for retail like we can. Do not miss out the opportunity to pick these up while you can. It will not last forever, and I do think prices are going to start skyrocketing, particularly on these two sets, as soon as they go out of stock on Pokemon Center for retail prices. You're not going to be buying these anywhere else for retail price. I highly doubt it. Let's have a look at prices then. I really did go into a bit more detail a couple of days ago on some of the Scarlet and Violet sets, which was a nice change. If you haven't seen the video, check that one out. I talk about the upcoming potential Team Rocket set coming, and I talked about how Scarlet and Violet is starting to see an influx of money. I do a bit of a deep dive on that and talk about my opinions. Today though, on this video, we're going to be focusing as always on Sword and Shield prices, but if you do want to hear about Scarlet and Violet and my views on there, check out the last video. So Silver Tempest, we were just talking about that. So it is the last available in the US at the moment, which you're seeing reflected in the prices here. You can basically get it for retail price on TCG Player, but it is creeping up. We are seeing a slow creep. There's not much move over this last week, but over the last 2-3 weeks, once you zoom out, it is starting to creep. And I tell you what, as soon as it goes out of stock on Pokemon Center US, I would expect to see more of a slow gradual creep, maybe 1% or 2% per week, continuing all the way up to the Christmas period and beyond. Silver Tempest is a great set in my opinion. Obviously you have the big moody chase card, the Lugia. I just love that card. I think it's brilliant. In the UK, you can still pick them up for retail as well, even though they are not available on Pokemon Center UK. You can pick them up for retail price, just a couple of pounds under actually, because people are still dumping them on eBay. Honestly, Pokemon investing and investing in anything, stocks, crypto, anything like that, is generally just a patience game. If you have the patience to hold things for longer than other people, you generally will make money. And that has been proven in the past with almost every single modern sealed booster box for Pokemon. Had to think about that one. Definitely for modern. And when I talk about modern, I'm talking about like mid XY era and onwards. Pretty much every booster box has proven that if you hold it long enough, it will increase in price. Even the bad sets. Sometimes the bad sets even spike quicker because less people like put them away to store because they don't like them. They're bad sets in people's opinions. But opinions change as well. Some of these sets that people absolutely hate, it takes a couple of years and then they end up appreciating it. Like people start FOMOing into it and people start looking back on the sets and they're like, oh, actually, these actually have some like alt arts, or they have some really nice chase cards, and you can't get these chase cards anymore. And then the price just starts creeping and creeping and creeping up. So yeah. Fusion Strike is had a bit of a steady week. quite a lot of the booster boxes this week have had either a steady week or a little bit of a price retracement, which is actually quite normal in the hobby and normal with investments when you see a big influx in price. Fusion Strike has not been available in the US for a little while now, which is where we saw, let's zoom out, which is where we saw this massive gain. So retail price was around about here, and then as it went out of stock on Pokemon Center around about February, March time, you saw the massive gain up to these highs. And yes, we're seeing a little bit of a dip down in this last week, a little bit of price retracement and a little bit of stabilization, but just look at it compared to retail. Do you know what I mean? Like, once you actually zoom out, you can see that these movements are so just marginal, it doesn't really make a difference and on the long term. And again, prices are a little bit all over the place on TCG Player, just because these ones, like with images, aren't booster boxes usually these are like booster packs put together, or they're booster boxes that are damaged, so that affects sort of like the average price. I would say that Fusion Strike has probably just had like a stable week in the US rather than any retracement. If it has gone back in price, it's only like $1 or $2, and it will just bounce back, in my opinion. Fusion Strike you can still pick up for retail price on Pokemon Center UK, as we just saw. The next available cheapest option is 160 on eBay, which is a bit of a jump up in price. That's sort of what, like £15 price jump between retail price and eBay. So again, if it suddenly went out of stock next week, the next available source is 10% higher. So potentially you're just going to see, as soon as that go out of stock, an instant 10% gain. Obviously we'll be tracking that every week as well, but it's just interesting to see. And you know what, there's not a huge amount available for this 165 range either. You know, you might be talking, what was that, 6-7 booster boxes for 10% over retail, and then we start jumping to like 175. And I tell you what, some of these people will put their prices up as well. As soon as it goes out of stock, it's just going to push everything up. People are going to start FOMOing in, buying out all these other ones, and I tell you what, we'll be at £200 a box in no time. We're just waiting for it to drop out of stock on Pokemon Center, and I think as soon as it does that, if that does it, you know, next month, I imagine we'll be at 200 a box within the next 8 weeks. That's just my prediction, though. Do take that with a grain of salt, especially if you're investing with your own money as well. It should be your own decision. This channel here is just to help you as sort of information and knowledge, so that you can form your own opinions. Don't just go on what I say, because quite often I'm wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've made so many bad deals in investing. I've made a lot of good deals, don't get me wrong, and I'm in profit overall, but I've also made a lot of bad deals as well. But generally, if you hold things for long enough, things will even out. It's a patience game, it really is. You've got to have diamond hands, as they say in poker. That's the expression, as in your hand is not weak, you're strong, you hold on to your investment. Let's have a look at Astral Radiance. I don't know what's going on with the charts on TCG Player on this week on some of the booster boxes. Look at this, it's going all weird and all skewed. Look, this is even weirder when you go to like 1 month. I think that this is a bug, they need to fix this. But if we actually just look at the prices, Astral Radiance is selling for around about $184, which is around about $20 over retail. It hasn't been available for retail prices for them for a little while. Again, probably about a stable week for Astral Radiance over in the US. We can still pick them up on Pokemon Center for £146. You can get them a tiny bit cheaper on eBay. But again, once they go out of stock, I think there's going to be a bit of a price jump on these. You've got, what, 1, 2, 3 available in the 140 to 145, and then we just start jumping up to 155. There's 3 at 155, and then suddenly we're at 170. Do you know what I mean? These things can move so quickly. Within a day, we can jump up to 170, 180, 190 a booster box. I can easily see it happening once the retail supply goes. This is probably your last chance to jump in at retail price into Sword and Shield if you live in the UK. You can see what's happened with the US one. You know, I think we're going to follow suit. We can learn a lot from each other's markets. This is why I always compare the US and the UK. So if you're a US viewer, you can get something out of this channel, and if you're a UK viewer, so can you. And maybe we can learn from each other's markets as well. Generally, we do tend to follow each other in trends as well, depending on stock levels. Lost Origin has actually dropped a little bit in price in the US this week. It's not as severe as Lost as Lost Origin is making out. It's not as severe as TCG Player is making out. I did a little bit of research on eBay for last solds on Lost Origin in the US. This data isn't quite accurate. It's really retraced only around about $2 to $5 over this last week, which is really marginal. Again, you're seeing about a 1 to 2% price stabilization after we saw a massive pump up. So that's actually a positive thing. I would expect to be seeing that kind of thing going forward. We have Lost Origin here in the UK. We can buy it on Pokemon Center for retail. Actually, we can't. That's a lie. It's not available for retail. And that's why we're seeing a big price jump. Sorry, getting confused with sets there. $2.15 is the cheapest now on the secondary market, so we're already paying a premium for Lost Origin. I do think this is a little bit overinflated in price. I do think people are FOMOing into Lost Origin at the moment. Do I think Lost Origin is worth $2.15 going forward? Yes, of course. I just think it's a little bit early to be paying $2.15 in the UK for a Lost Origin, and I'm sure some people will, but I think it should be this price in a couple of months' time. Basically, is what I'm getting at. I don't think it should be over 200 a box at the moment. I think it should be around about the 180, 190 range. Will it drop back down to that? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that is the accepted price from now. We'll have to keep tracking it going forward. I wanted to talk to you guys about Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies in the US here. We've had quite a stable old time with Evolving Skies. Let's have a look at the 1 month chart. Actually seeing some growth. So they were at 688 average price last week, and they're at 691 now. That is actually pretty stable. See, this is the problem. Like, if you look at like the 1 month chart, if things haven't moved that much, then this range, it looks huge. It looks like it's just going vertical, but it's really not actually that much. It's only a few dollars raised over the last week. And once you start to zoom out, you see how marginal these changes are. Look, it's been really flat for like the last 2 months, and then let's zoom out to the 6 month. You can see it even flatten out even further. We're really quite stable now on Evolving Skies. It may have gained a few dollars over the last couple of weeks, but hovering around just over 700 a box now. I believe the last time we commented on it, it was around about 700 a box. So in the last week, it's probably gone up about $4, which is about 0.5%. However, UK people, Evolving Skies is moving again, and it's about to move again. I think it's about to skyrocket. Of course it is, because I've dumped all of mine. It's just the way it goes. If I dump all of my booster boxes, the price will skyrocket. 570 with postage, so really like what, 582, 583 is the cheapest one on eBay at the moment, which is what we kind of saw over the last couple of weeks. This is a bit of a raggedy looking one though. I haven't actually clicked on this one to see if there's any issues with it, but I can tell already it looks a little bit raggedy. Should we actually just have a look, see if there's any issues with this one, see what they put in the description. Factory sealed, no information. Let's look at the photos. I think this one will sell pretty quick because of the price. It just looks a bit raggedy. Look at this on the corner as well. Quality control here. I don't know if that's actually ripped or not. And they've only provided one photo. Warning signs, if you ask me. If I'm spending that much on a booster box, I want to see some proper photos of it, or at least have a proper description owning up to what the problems are with it. Anyway, once this one sells out for 583, we got a price jump. 645 is the next cheapest, and that is a hell of a price jump. I mean, these were going for around about 580, 600 over the last couple of weeks. I sold a whole bunch for 580 last month. So 645 is a hell of a price jump. And then look, once that one sells, we just jump again, 650, 650, 650. Quite a few at 650, and then we jump again, 660. and then we're just jumping up towards the 700 range. So there's really not that many. Once, say 10 Evolving Skies booster boxes sell, which can easily happen even just in like 2 days in the UK, then we're jumping up to the 700 range, probably even more. And then look, one at 700 from Italy, and then it just jumps up to 750 plus. Like, I think Evolving Skies is about to move, guys. I think a lot of people are about to FOMO into it, and it's typical. I sold off a load of mine, but I do not feel bad at all. I took a massive 300% plus profit on all of my boxes, and I'm really happy, and I just rolled that money into other sets, and I'm super happy with what I've got, so don't feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me at all. I did very well out of Evolving Skies, and I'm sure I made a lot of people happy whoever bought those boxes, so it's a win-win for everyone. Brilliant Stars, let's have a look. Again, a little bit of a price drop on Brilliant Stars, but we saw a really positive climb over the last month or so on Brilliant Stars as it went out of stock in the US. So again, it seems to be, the given thing this week that a lot of booster boxes, particularly on the US markets, are just having very small 2% to 3% drops. And this is just price stabilization after we've seen a really big turn to the upside. I would expect to see over the next week things stabilizing, either flatlining across or perhaps even dropping another 1 or 2%. If they just bounce straight back up, that's a really bullish signal that things are just going to move to the upside. But what I'd quite like to see is, just a flat week next week. But make sure you tune in next week, and we'll track what's going on with them. You can still pick them up on Pokemon Center UK for £146. The next cheapest available is on eBay is for £153, and a little bit of change on the postage. Again, pretty reasonable prices. I just feel like so many people, like especially like this person here. I'm just picking on this person, but it could be a few of them. I feel like so many of these people like bought in for around about the £140 range, probably quite a while ago as well, and they're just dumping them now before you see realised profit. Honestly, guys, it's too early to dump Brilliant Stars. If you're holding Brilliant Stars at the moment, booster box, don't FOMO into all these other sets. I'm telling you, you'll do well if you just hold it. If you just hold it for 1 year, 2 years, I guarantee, well, you can never guarantee anything, but I'm pretty certain it's going to go up a decent amount. So not a huge amount, but I think you will see a nice profit. I would not be dumping these for either a loss or even just to break even, especially if you've held it for like a year, 2 years plus already. Just hold it, keep it in storage, who cares? Chuck it in the back of your storage, in the back of your cupboard, wherever you keep your sealed product. Darkness Ablaze. Now I want to talk about Darkness Ablaze at the end, because I commented a couple of weeks ago that I think Darkness Ablaze is a good buy at the moment, because everyone hates Darkness Ablaze, and like I said earlier, some of the sets that do really well long term are the sets that people don't like and they come back and appreciate it. You've got the big Chase Charizard card. It is quite hard to pull, the big Charizard VMAX, the big orangey guy. I really like that card. You can pick it up now for a PSA 10 for around about 60-70 quid in English, and the Japanese version is so much cheaper because it came as a promo. That's like £30 you can pick up as a PSA 10. There's not that many of them around, and I just like Darkness Ablaze. The fact that you can still pick it up for like below retail as well for what I think is quite a cool Sword and Shield set. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people commented the other week when I said that I was buying into Darkness Ablaze, said, oh, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot barge pole. Well, that's fine. Maybe you're right. Maybe it won't gain up in price, but I'm just letting you guys know what moves I'm making. I like the set. It's cheap. I'm buying into it. I think it's very unlikely we're ever going to see any more reprints of Darkness Ablaze. I think it's a creeper set, and it's slowly creeping up in price here on TCG Player on the US markets as well. A week on week, we're just seeing a slow price gain, and the price gain is actually more than what is shown on the chart. It's shown average price here of 145, but again, it's just getting skewed by all these kind of not real sealed booster boxes that are selling. The real sell price here is $153, $154. Let's just have a look at that. So basically like a $10 price rise in the last week. So I just want to point out that over the last week, Darkness Ablaze has outperformed Fusion Strike, Astral Radiance, Evolving Skies. Like, I know those sets are like much more desirable at the moment, but sometimes the plays are all about doing what other people aren't doing. And that's what I specialise in. I specialise in buying some of the sets that no one else wants. Hey, I'll gobble them up for below retail. I am a fiend for that. Look at this. Pokemon, not Pokemon Center UK. Sorry, I'm getting tired. eBay UK. Cheapest you can get at the moment for a nice minty sealed one with nice beautiful photos. Shout out to this guy. You've taken some good photos and you are the cheapest on eBay at the moment. $123.75 delivered to your door. That is below retail price on a set with a big Charizard chase that everyone hates for some reason, but I really like it. I like Darkness Ablaze. I'm buying along into it. I'm buying more of it this month. I'm going to continue to while it's at these prices, and I'm also buying along into Scarlet and Violet now as well. I talked about that a lot over the last two videos. If you haven't checked them out, please do. I think you'll find them interesting. And yeah, look, so here's the last sold on Darkness Ablaze. Look, we're getting like 130. There's a cheaper one here, sold for 115. Another one sold for 130. They're creeping up in price. I'm telling you guys, they're creeping up. And when you're at this price range, it really doesn't take much to see a big profit. So if you're buying it for 130, right, it only needs to go to what, 143? It only needs to go up £13 for you to see a 10% profit. Like, yes, you've got to go for fees on top of that, but if you're buying and holding this for a couple of years, I think you do well out of it. That's why I'm buying into it. I'm always transparent with what I'm buying and what I'm not. Maybe you agree with it, maybe you don't. Let me know down below what you think, whether it's a play, whether you're changing your mind on Darkness Ablaze, or whether it's going to take you a little bit longer. Maybe you want to see those charts move up a little bit first before you agree with me. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed having me on camera as well. For the first time ever, I decided to show my face. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. I've been PokePond. Have a wonderful day and peace.